All right, cultivators. This is another episode of Cultivator Court. So let me start over. I messed up. What are we gonna say again?
Cultivation Corner. You forgot our name?
All right, our cultivators. This is Richie at Growfolds with Janae Simone and Stephen of I Live Plants. We are Cultivation Corner, and today's episode we are going to be talking about the plant hype man, the plant friend that we always have. So, Stephen, do you have friends that you just call as your plant friends?
Yes.
Oh,
I do. Is
the best plant friends.
The best plant friends. I mean, yeah, I got some friends, some plant friends. What about y'all? Y'all got some plant friends?
For sure. Of course, Richie and Steve.
Yeah.
I'm with
it. Of course. Also, well, wait, is it a question of just the ones who like encourage us and hype, or we can just share our love for plants?
Mm-hmm. I would just say, you know, a lot of times people turn to plants, right? Because from what I've read on social media, let me go ahead and just make sure I preface that there are some people say they don't have as many friends, so therefore they turn to plants. But then when your love for plants happens, you end up making more friends because you get part of like the plant community. So I suppose just anybody that you interact with. What does that all look like for all of us?
Yeah.
What does it look like for everybody?
I would say, of course, y'all, but then also my friend Ruth. Hey girl, you getting too much time on
she's on every episode. Podcast. She need to be a
Ruth needs a chair.
I know, right?
It's a chair.
Insert picture of Ruth.
Right, there you go.
And then also to my friend Katrin, my Oma, who I talk about a lot.
Nice.
Because there's I have friends, but if I were to talk to plants with them, they could care less. Like, okay, Janae. But I know, especially not only with y'all, but then also with Ruth and Oma, that I can talk about them. They're actually like, oh wait, or like they probe and want to know more, and then they steal my plants. But you know, it's all love. So
like as far as like plant friends, obviously my grandma Lola Belen, she's my best friend when it comes to just things in general, because she's the one who's gotten me into this plant journey of mine as an early age. And then my friend Isaac, he also has a YouTube channel, Hi JR Sings. He is my best friend of 25 years.
Wow.
Or 26. Nice. We're going to be celebrating 26 years of being best friends.
Didn't you just turn 20 something? Right?
No,
yeah,
a lot of add another 20, and then you can see my age, right? But as far as Isaac, he's a good plant friend of mine because he's the one who rehabs my plants. So I already know y'all have those plant giveaways to friends because either you fell out of love with a plant, you can't grow the plant. But I will tell you, my friend Isaac, he can take any plant that I give him and rehab it, and I'm like, I want it back. So I'm just gonna go ahead and take it. I'm gonna confiscate that. Like, he was able to rehab a Hydra Helix, and if you don't know what that is a Hedera Helix, English ivy, but he was able to take that really hard plant and like grow it.
Wow.
With no effort. So like that's a plant friend right there.
Oh, you got that right.
I keep talking about her. Thank you, Ruth. I gave her my what is it? Was it a Maranta? Or no, she purchased a Maranta, and I think it's almost 2 years old, and it's just thriving. Oh. It's living its best life.
Oh, she has a green thumb.
There's literally no crispy leaves.
How in the world?
What's the quality of water?
She doesn't do any special water. No extra humidity. It lives on her living room table, and it's just thriving. Mine was by a humidifier, a Soltec light, and it died. It crisped up and all the things. But I give it to Ruth, and then she's like, "Oh yeah, it's doing good."
I know. Well, we're about to see, because she's gonna take 2 Dracaenas from me today. So, like, literally, I mean,
give her.
Is it gonna be the Ruth challenge?
It's gonna be the Ruth challenge.
The Ruth challenge.
I love that.
Give her a plant and see if she can grow it all. So
you're gonna have to give her one next, Richie.
I know. I got plenty.
That's hilarious. That's hilarious. You know, my plant friend from the beginning is Garen from Plant Keeper.
Ooh, yes. Hi, Garen.
What's up, man? Let me tell you something about a plant friend. You know a plant friend is real when they help you move over 50 plants from one location to another.
That's true.
And then you got another 50 because you mentioned in another episode you're approaching 100.
I'm approaching 100. Yeah. So, Garen, please, like, in the next move? Can I tap your service? This guy, I asked him if he can help me, and he was like, absolutely, without hesitation, So we packed everything in the truck, and brought all my plants from one location to another, especially like my big bird of paradise and, all my plants that are floor plants. He just helped me out, taking them down, up and down the elevator and, telling me, hey, this location right here in your new place is going to help it thrive with, the kind of light that you're getting from this window and all that stuff. And I could go to Plant Keeper to, believe it or not buy anything. Ooh. But just to talk to him and say, hey, what's up, buddy? What's going on? And I don't know if I'm putting too much out there, but his wife saw my picture as his screensaver on his phone. Oh. Because I had a nice plant, a plant that he sold me when I first moved here, and it was thriving, right? And I took a picture of it and stood next to it and sent it to him. And he put it as the screensaver of his phone. And his wife was like, who's this?
Wow. Like, what?
But I'm telling you, from the time, it's going on 4 years now, and he's been a really, really good friend. Really good friend.
And I love that you mentioned he helped you move plants too, because that made me think of my friend Kat Olma. She actually just recently moved, and I was like, the first one she calls hey, can you help me move my plants?
Oh,
that's so I felt honored in doing that too, because of course she didn't want the movers to do it, and let alone she did not want her husband to do it, just clumsy. And I was like, oh yes, of course. And then I'm actually going to help Ruth coming up too. So even having those moments, knowing someone, not just having plant friends who you can talk to and interact with plants, but also even help with those things, because plants, they're not just plants, they're more than that to us. So if a plant does during the transition through a move, I'm sure if your big beautiful bird of paradise, something were to happen to that, you'd feel some type of way. You would feel sad.
Oh yeah.
And so having people who trust you with that.
Yeah.
So
that's a huge deal.
Yeah.
No, well, to your point, the movers who were moving my furniture, they were like, "Oh yeah, we can move that plant." I was like, "Oh no, you're not.
Absolutely not.
Okay. You don't trust it, huh?"
What?
They'd be too rough with it. They just think it's a plant. No, it's more than a plant.
Yeah, I come to the new place and the leaves are more broken than what they are now.
I'd cry.
Whose fault is that? That's your fault.
Yeah.
I want a discount.
Exactly. Go buy me another plant.
How about that?
Exactly.
Super sticker.
Right.
So what would y'all say is what's the importance to you in having those friendships and friends who can relate with you, with plants, and how that also affects your plant collection?
I would say for me, having friends that have a similar interest for plants, it just makes it easier to discuss that, because like I said again, if you have a significant other, for instance, or even family members that you want to talk about, oh my gosh, I got an Aglaonema crown of Siam, for instance, they don't really share the excitement. I think they can appreciate that you're excited, passionate about plants, but a plant friend is somebody that's really gonna hype you up. Yeah. Is really gonna be like, "Ooh, you did that! You did that! You grew that new leaf, or you rehabbed that plant." And that's really important. And I'm really thankful that I have you two to really just text and let you know about what their plant discovers. Those Aglaonema pictures. It was like, "Oh, I just rehabbed this, or I just repotted this." That's super exciting, and that goes even deeper into your plant friends. When you have plant friends that have a similar taste in the plants that you're really about, because there was a blind item. There was a blind item that happened, and for those that have been watching this season, blind items are a thing where you just kind of read between the lines. But I was really excited, y'all, about these 3 content creators that found each other by the powers of the universe, right? Really? There was one, I think I was watching their episode, or maybe it was just in conversation. One was a viewer of this girl's channel. He happened to find her while shopping at a local Dallas nursery called Rubal's.
Oh,
and
really?
He called her. To meet? Yeah, no. these content creators. I was like, oh my goodness. So he happened to call her by name, and she was startled. And then they started talking about, I watch your YouTube channel, and she was super nice. She was super nice. She ended up getting an Aglionema and eventually named it after her plant friend she met in person.
No way.
And then that plant person that what she met started doing like a YouTube channel, but originally it was like some origami stuff that not everybody was really into, but he felt like he could do that, and he like changed it to a plant shopping channel, big box store plant shopping videos. Yeah, it looked like this. Like, I mean, the dude was like obsessed. He was just doing this every day, like the ASMR stuff right here
on his YouTube channel.
And it changed to something like Folds. I think that's the YouTube channel.
Okay.
And then so the friend ended up getting a viewer to message him on Instagram saying, hey, would you be willing to do like a meetup at this nursery called Plant Keeper? And I'm like, wow, that was so exciting because that person that met the girl ended up meeting another person that happened to be a viewer of his. And then he ended up making a YouTube channel. And all of a sudden they have this like podcast, something awesome. Corner. And I'm like, oh my gosh. So like, you know, for as far as a blind item, that's what you call friendship, right? The universe
like
around it.
Friendship.
And, you know, if I were in their shoes, I'm just going to speak as if it was us.
Oh,
I'm just so thankful for it. No, but real talk. Like, it's interesting how plant friendships happen. And so, like, we'll ask the cultivators. And for those that have just started tuning into our plant podcast, we call our viewers, our subscribers, our supporters, cultivators. Let us know in the comments section, like, how you found each other or how you found plant friends. But how do you start a plant friendship? That's my next question.
How do you start one?
I have a long distance plant friend, Mel.
Mel
G.
What's up, G?
Subscriber of all of our channels.
What's up, Mel G?
I don't. She was just a consistent commenter.
I thought she lived in Dallas.
No, I keep telling her she needs to move to
come to Dallas.
She lives on the East Coast.
Okay.
Oh, East Coast.
But yeah, just a consistent commenter, but not just like there's more to it, like a conversation comment, and she does like on all of our channels. Just awesome. And just one day I was like, hey, can you email please? I just wanted to just gift her some plants. That was over a year ago. Anyway, we almost talk like every day. We talk about plants and all the things, and having a long distance plant friend, even though she's more than just a plant friend, like that's even amazing to have.
Have you ever met face to face?
No, we haven't.
Oh my gosh, Mel, you got to come down.
I'm hoping though. I really
we got to come up there.
If anything, at least go to Dallas. Dallas hasn't announced PlantCon Dallas, but it's going to happen this year.
Yeah, absolutely,
for sure. But yeah, even just having those connections. So that's a plant friend I met through YouTube online.
Yeah, and speaking of plant friends, like we met Trish and Daniel from our YouTube channels at the PlantCon, and also Jamie. There's a viewer named Gloria as well that I met, and just a lot of people, even through YouTube.
Yeah,
exactly.
I mean, I tell you, listen, I was in Peter's Planters a couple of weeks ago.
Okay.
Filming some content, and I met this woman shopping. And we just brought up a conversation. She actually liked one of my videos, like maybe the week before.
Oh, okay.
Never knew who she was or anything like that. I want to say it's like Acrostasia or something like that. That's her name on Instagram. And so she reached out to me after we had the conversation at Peter's, and she says, "Hey, it was nice to meet you at Peter's Planters." And I was like, "Wait a minute. You're Acrostasia or what?"
That's Acrostasia.
Yeah. And she was like, "Yeah." I said, "Oh my gosh!" I said, we started following each other on Instagram a week before we met, and I didn't even know that I was talking to her in Peters until she said something.
That's awesome.
And it's one of those situations where you just never know.
Yeah.
You never know
where you're going to start that friendship.
Where you're going to start the friendship. And so, now we'll comment on each other's. She is completely into acrobatics. So if the drapes sort of like
she
dancing
and all that. She let me like fall over a chandelier.
I know. Like Sia swing from a chandelier.
I am Sia, again, maskless, faceless,
all that. But the thing is that that's how it starts. You know what I mean? And she was so sweet. She was super duper sweet and super knowledgeable about plants too. And it's just amazing how these sort of connections happen at the shop. And, you know, I go to Peter's a lot, and I met another woman by the name of Tara, you know, just in conversation. And she was like, you know, what are you doing? And I said, oh, I have a YouTube or whatever. And she was like, oh, let me follow it, you know. And it's just like that, you know. It's just like that. The
plant community is awesome, honestly.
It's just, it's one big family.
No, it really is.
Yeah.
And you think, right, so you mentioned PETA's, and we mention PETA's Planters all the time, guys. If you're ever in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, definitely shop PETA's Planters. Sure. It is a small business. It was our season opener, and hopefully you guys have really listened to PETA's story. But like even PETA, she's our bestie. She is our Cultivation Corner host. She was the one that gave us a space when we were starting this podcast. And PETA and David and then Shauna too. There's a lot of people. And I mean, so here's my thing, right? So obviously the way we start plant friendships, do you think it's the plants that, like, I know it sounds kind of silly, but do you feel like plants do bring people together, like the right energy or something about the universe, right? Because this is really, I mean, like I was telling you about that story, right? The blind item with those three, like,
plants literally brought them together.
Yeah.
No, it's a beautiful thing, honestly. It's something I don't know, you wouldn't initially think that something like this green leaves would bring people together.
Yeah.
But it's a beautiful thing.
And then not only that, I mean, at the right time.
Yeah.
You know, because I could tell you from, you know, I did a little bit of digging on this blind item thing that you know, have been talking about. And I know that one of the cultivators, I just can't keep a blind item blind, can I?
What do you mean the cultivator? He's also a cultivator?
Yeah, he's a cultivator.
So that's a blind item.
Yeah, he's
a cultivator. I mean,
a cultivator.
But I know that one of the cultivators was just in need of friendship, you know, and so you know that people can be placed in your life when you need them to be, and what better avenue than to have someone placed in your life that gets you with your interests, you know? And I think that was the thing that blew me away about that story, you know, is that sometimes people are placed in your life exactly when you need them to be.
It's so true.
You know?
And the fact that, because I looked that up too.
On that blind item, I'm just like, wow.
And like when people first meet and they can spend literally 4 or 5 hours together, not get tired, like first meeting, not get tired of each other, and just like conversation kept going. Only reason why they had to leave was because like just life, work or whatever.
And then what was crazy is apparently even in that text message, they all messaged each other and said that was one of the best days I've had in my life. And that was like, I thought that was like a really sweet story. And you know, a lot of times we talk about plants, but sometimes we really have to like reel it back in and really think about what are plants doing for us as individuals. What does it do for other people? What does it do for the community? And you know, this episode is really about celebrating plant friends, the hype people. And so my next question is, Janae, what defines like somebody that is a real plant friend? Not just somebody that maybe you know are on good cordial terms, like you can appreciate a certain plant and you see them at the nursery or you see them at a big box store or a plant show. Like, what is an OG, this person got my back when it comes to plants? Like, what are some characteristics?
Oh, that's a good question. I guess first of all, someone who doesn't judge you, because unfortunately you do have some people out there.
Then frenemies? Frenemies, you my friend, but really...
Even in the plant community.
Because regardless of what, I don't know what type of plant it is or blah, or maybe I killed the plant. Oh, what, you did that? Like, first of all,
don't be
judgment-free zone.
Seriously.
They might be, you know, you don't know what somebody's going through. They might be going through a fungus gnat infestation. Like, that's
going through something
that is a real. Don't judge.
Okay. Ooh,
they were procreating. You probably had that romance music and the red wine too.
I was playing that R&B music, you know, that Joe and
you got it. Wait, don't let me sing it because we might get a copyright claim.
playing that and drinking wine. So they were like, oh yeah, this is the mood. He got the mood set.
Okay, ready to go.
But yeah, they could be cruel sometimes,
no, they
right?
can, unfortunately. So someone who's just like, I don't know, just like, just very, not just caring, but they can actually help relate to whatever plant care or whatever it is that like you're needing during that time.
So do you feel
that
like
they can help you with the care?
So do you feel like they're like enablers?
For
like
sure.
you gotta have them enablers.
But I think that's what makes it fun.
I mean, listen.
But especially when they give you plants too.
Here's an Aglionema, Janae. You need to buy it today.
Today. See that, and that's where I come in. Today.
Okay.
Get it today.
Like, yeah, if that friend's like, or no, if you're asking them like, should I get this now or later? And they're like, no, you should get it like today. Like, keep those friends.
To go on that, but I also feel like, the real plant friend is somebody that is also going to give you the real deal when you're like, hey, like you like the plant, but you're probably not going to be able to grow that plant. So let's look for something in an alternative.
Yeah. Well,
someone's gonna be real with you.
Well, here's the thing. So I appreciate you, right?
Oh, thank you.
Let me tell you what really did for me recently. We got a shipment from Indonesia.
Yeah.
So we got a shipment in
Green Spaces ID.
Green Spaces
Love
ID.
'em.
And I have a different Dieffenbachia.
Variegated mint.
And
you
what's
weren't
the
ready
other
for
thing?
it. And in the Anthurium.
Yeah. And he literally said, hey, Steve, he says, I'm going to take care of these plants for you for a while.
To acclimate them.
To acclimate them. Because he says, I'm not saying that, you
can't do it.
You can't do it. But he says, I'm going to do this for you so that you won't have the challenges.
Well, and then also just the experience. But the last thing you need to do is get somebody a plant or give somebody a plant and it doesn't work out.
Yeah.
So we're just looking out for each other.
Exactly. And that's a plant friend.
That's a plant friend,
yeah,
right? And then even potting it up or whatever.
Yeah.
But like I would even say
That's true.
another plant friend, let's refer to Janae.
Okay.
Okay, I appreciate Janae is she is willing to share plants.
I
You need a
know.
cutting, boom, and I'm not going to forget the
I
escalade.
know.
It's those friends that are looking out for you. Sharing is caring is what I always say on my YouTube channel, right? So share the plants.
Yeah.
That's a real plant friend when they're willing to just give you a plant. Oh, that variegated whatever.
Yeah.
You don't even have to resort to prop lifting.
Well, let's talk about this. So we got a beauty right here in front of us.
Look at this, gorgeous.
Okay.
That is Mufasa.
That's Icon.
The king of the jungle right here.
Literally.
Deborah, where's Deborah?
Deborah.
Where is Deborah? Like,
Right.
shout out to Deborah. She gave you a monster
Yes.
Thai constellation painted lady.
Another plant friend. Thank you again.
Plant
Deborah.
friend who
He's
shares.
Gorgeous.
Yeah.
Like, come on. Like, friends who give you cuttings or full on plants. Like,
Yeah.
keep them in your lives.
Okay, so we're feeling great and whatnot, but there's always a side to plant friends. What is a friend that is not a plant friend? Somebody who still like grows plants, but that's not a plant friend. I can tell you.
Okay.
You go, Steve.
Do you want to start or you want me to start?
I was just going to say, we've mentioned the word judgy and judgment before. And listen, I've had comments that, see, I'm from Brooklyn. Okay? So, like Whitney Houston said, watch what you say, baby girl. I'm just saying, and they can be so mean, and it's not a plant, it's someone in the plant community, but they're not, we will never be friends if you come at me like that. Let's be very clear on that. Because my thing is, if you see something that I'm doing wrong, okay, or it could be doing different, there's a way to say it.
Yes.
There's a way to say it without making me feel like I'm an idiot.
Yes.
And I think that's the kind of person in the community that's a red flag for me, and we will never be friends.
Mm-hmm.
And that kind of goes by, with just like, what is not a plant friend for me is somebody that is willing to, either tell you to buy a certain plant that is not going to go in your care. Somebody that's going to sell you a plant that is supposed to be your friend but is scamming you. That's not a plant friend.
Did that ever happen to you?
Yeah, but that's going to be on the season finale. Y'all need to watch the season finale. It is full of blind items, full explosions. And the thing about it is, whenever there is a blind item, there are receipts online, so you could see it. This is not something that we just conjured up, just like the plant, the weed that just grew from the ground. It just came out. There are receipts for that. But, that's just all in fun. I always say, especially with the Cultivation Corner podcast, try not to take things too seriously. I know we have talked a lot about lots of like really deep hitting topics, but at the same time, we're here to have fun. We're here to we're not anybody. We're not like professional podcasters or whatever. So whatever our opinions are, definitely take it with a light heart. And that's another thing. If you are a plant friend, you are willing to just take things lightly. Like, say you killed a plant that somebody gave you. You shouldn't be judging and be like, you suck as a friend. Like, what did you do? And I've had that where I've been friends with people and they gave me a plant, and sometimes they just make it to plant heaven and there's nothing you can do. But the friend should not be there telling you, well, you didn't do X, Y, and Z.
No. Yeah. You never want that person to, feel even more down about what already happened.
Yeah, where's the compassion and the empathy and all of that stuff?
Just encourage them, be like, hey, or for me, it's happened. Like, my friend killed the plant. I'm not going to name you out, but I love you. But no, and I just gave them another one. I was like, no, that's fine. But I tell that to people a lot. Like, you are going to kill plants, point blank.
Yep.
It's going to happen, but what matters is what you do after that. Are you going to just cold turkey, like, just stop like collecting, which I know some people do, but I would encourage you to keep on doing it, especially having that friend in your corner like, no, it's okay, it died, but you can still go ahead and maybe do an easier plant or something like that, and I'll help you take care of it, or help you with the care and how to do it.
Well, here's the thing, and with all living things don't live forever.
They don't.
And so sometimes, when I look at a yellowing leaf or something like that, or my plant's just not doing well, I'm just like, well, 'tis the circle of life, right here, really,
Mufasa's right there. Mufasa's right there.
Oh, no, Mufasa.
Mufasa's still in his prime.
He is. So beautiful. Where's Scar?
Yeah, where is Scar?
Ooh.
That's all I'm saying.
Whenever y'all buy me a Monstera Bulbasaur, I'll name him Scar.
So wait, hold on. So are we trying to say now to be a plant friend, you got to give them an expensive plant?
If that friend can afford it, I'll gladly take it. If y'all want to buy me one, buy me an expensive Agumima.
Listen.
That crown is fine.
It's about to happen for us, huh?
Maybe. It depends. Cultivators, again, if you haven't already, there is an option for a super sticker. So feel free to drop that anytime if you do enjoy this type of content. It really does help with some of the, the equipment? Look at she got bling bling on here.
I know.
All of that. But
also, tell your friends about this too. Like
the Cultivation Corner.
Sure. Yeah, spread the word. Like if you have any friends, if you know anybody else who's into plants and everything like that.
Even just beginning.
And here's the thing, right? We talk about plant friends. I would even say anybody who tunes in to the Cultivation Corner podcast, or even on our respective YouTube channels, y'all are a plant friend. Yes. Because you're choosing to engage with all of us who clearly, we don't have no PhDs with plants. Like we're not any professionals. We're not a botanist. We simply enjoy plants. And that's the thing. It's interesting how plant friendships really blossom into something beautiful. And it just starts with like one leaf. It could be a one leaf, one node cutting, but all of a sudden it is a full bush of plants. And I think even with the Cultivation Corner community, I would even say the DFW plant community. I am fortunate to be living out in North Dallas and just Dallas in general. So many kind people out there.
There is.
My thing is though, aside from obviously online, right? We have long distance plant friendships. Where do you think, if you're looking for a plant friend, where are places you can find a plant friend?
Oh,
because you know how question. They say, like, relationships, if you're looking for a boyfriend, a girlfriend, just look for them at church. Yeah. But what about like a plant? But what about like plant friends? Where are hot spots?
I would say not even necessarily the plant nursery, even like at a big box store.
Okay. So how
Like,
do you
striking
approach
that conversation? I don't approach people. How would y'all do it?
Listen,
Are we going to coach people on how to make that
Like
first
the-
approach?
the
Is this to
first
get
approach?
a plant friend that
get
could
a
be a
plant
girlfriend?
friend.
Or a relationship, or is this
Okay,
an
well,
open
you never
start?
know.
Like, how do we start the opening topic?
listen. All we want you to do is just get a foot in the door. You
Okay,
know
so
what I'm
how do
saying?
you start it? If you were looking at some stuff at,
You
say,
reach for
Lowe's
the
or
same
Home Depot.
plant and accidentally
I know,
brush each other's
right?
So is this a holler?
Oh, were you getting this way?
like
Let
both,
me get this for you.
both of your hands touch, and then y'all look at,
Lima too. Can you bite?
and then you just happen to look into each other's eyes and all that good
The
stuff.
rest is history.
Right, walking down the aisle,
Okay.
holding plants.
With
you
the
know,
plant.
that brought y'all together.
I
I
mean,
love that.
I
beautiful
you know,
love
look, what is it?
story.
What is it? Full transparency. I have tried to holler.
Really?
Whatever.
Hey.
This is a while ago.
Of course, of
All I
course,
know
of
is
course.
y'all know my story
Yeah.
as far
Yeah,
as that
yeah.
I do have somebody. Let me go ahead and put
Yeah.
that out there. I do have somebody very, very special to me, married. You can see the ring or
All
whatever.
right.
But all I'm gonna say is this: I remember one time saying, like, trying to open a conversation, and it was the most awkward conversation I would ever say in a big box store. And I basically said, I bet that Monster Delicioso grows big for you.
Richie.
You just
Richie.
there are so many undertones
walked
in
away.
that.
And they didn't walk away, they engaged. And then we started talking.
Well, I tell you
Oh
what,
goodness.
Yeah, so that was
Richie
was
got
strange.
game.
It's at the big
Romance
box
at the
store.
big box store.
he got game right here.
No,
like-
not really. Not really. I didn't end up with that. But
Oh.
anyways, but you know, a lot of times that you go to a big box store, and I know
Mm.
whenever I'm just like awkwardly filming plants,
Yeah.
sometimes you think that either work there or they know, but then
Yeah.
you can just strike a conversation about, like, you know, I've had somebody the other day ask me, hey, what plant do you think would be good? You look like you know what you're doing. I'm like, I really don't, but I would recommend it. You know, even like starting, you could even walk up to somebody and be like, hey, you can just play like you don't know about plants, but you can even say, hey,
Yeah.
like, what do you think of this plant? And most people, at least in the general public, are going to be kind enough, at least when it comes to somebody that's looking for plants.
That is
That's
true.
true.
Because I'm telling you, not only are they looking for plants at the big box store,
What
they're
are they
looking for a friend. They're looking for a
It could
Janae.
be though.
They're looking for a Steven.
Yeah.
They're looking for me.
Yeah.
It's true though. I mean, I have had some people like at a nursery big box.
Yeah.
Like either like, what are you doing? Or if I have a plant in my hand. It happened recently. This sweet older lady. This was like around Christmas time. They had like the Christmas cactus.
Oh, yeah.
And then she just like, I don't know. We had this 10-minute conversation. Mostly it was her talking because I get shy, but she was just telling me about the care and like how hers is doing and stuff like that. I mean, just even stuff like that though. But I enjoy it because it's like you're taking your time out to even just tell me, you know, about your love for plants and how you care for it and all the things. So
You know, such a beautiful story because that's how genuine it is, right?
yes, yeah,
And so, you know, listen, you guys mentioned big box stores. I don't do those too much. You know, I go to nurseries
Yeah.
and stuff, right?
Support local.
And
Yeah,
support
definitely.
local. And I gotta say this, like, you know, the people who I've met, local nursery shopping, plant shopping, could be the owners of the shop.
Yeah.
And also, you know, some of the employees. So, you know, like off the top of my head, I'm
like
thinking,
Lupita,
like,
she's a plant.
Love Lupita.
right?
Love.
I'm thinking of Garen. I'm thinking of Shauna. I'm thinking of Parker. You know, David. Right. I'm thinking of all these people who I've interacted with who work at a nursery that I frequent a lot. You know, so that when I go back, it's just like,
A whole
oh, hey, how you
conversation.
doing? Like, how's that? You know, aglaonema that you bought from us last month or whatever have you, and you know how your plant's coming along, and you know, and then you know, sometimes you even strike up like, how's life?
Yeah.
You know, and I think, you know, when you're looking at plant friends, the plants are what bring you together.
Yep.
Okay. But there is a human need to feel heard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a human need to feel loved. There's a human need to feel cared for. And if plants are the bridge to whatever gap you're feeling in your life, let that bridge, connect the two.
And then create more bridges.
And create more bridges,
Yeah.
but also, be vulnerable enough in these plant relationships to talk about yourself too, and talk about, sometimes, depending on how long you've known the person, but you have an earpiece right there that could possibly be exactly who you need to talk to and who you need to hear from in that moment. So
It's true.
It's really important.
Those connections make a difference
Yeah.
and they matter.
They really do. And
Yeah.
it's not just always about the plants, but obviously it's an added element when you meet somebody that has that same passion, that same, I guess, geekiness, if you want to,
It's true,
for lack of
yeah.
a better word, to be
Yeah.
like, oh my gosh,
like
it's
being
about to unfurl a
Yes.
new leaf.
It's
or,
like being at the nerd table
No,
at
it
school,
really
right?
is.
That's where I was. So.
or you can talk about like your hates and be like, yeah, that calathea is just
Yeah.
not for me.
Uh-huh.
Nobody else can understand that but a plant friend
Exactly.
or a plant community, and you will meet plant friends in the wildest places you can meet. The obvious places like plant shows, plant swaps.
Yeah,
Those are
plant
great.
swaps.
I mean, I know
Sure.
I met Fidel Plant Poppy at the Texas Aeroid show. Viridiana, Plants by Viridiana, she does all the plants swaps. She was also at a show, and if you are somebody that are able to like go to places that have people that like plants, I'm telling you, most people in the plant community are very
They're sweet.
approachable.
Yeah.
They are.
So
They are. And I think that's the key, right?
Yeah.
Listen,
Kindness.
when we're talking about that blind item, those three that you've mentioned, I think they are very approachable, and very kind. And, there's no room to being obnoxious or standoffish or, maybe closed off in a way where you're not willing to accept someone for who they are and what they love, And I think, the blind item that you mentioned, I know for a fact that they are open to, just sharing.
sharing
and
is
friendships
sharing.
and-
I've always mentioned kindness is free.
Yes.
You need to always be kind.
Yes.
And then, the season episode, finale, which will be happening soon, I would always just tell you, think before you click. Think before you click. Be kind to people, not only in person, but also on social media platforms, because I think a lot of people can't always make plant friends because there's so much judgment even online. I mean, there's a whole nother topic that we can talk about.
Yeah.
But I will say, kind of to sum up, your plant friend, your hype person, right?
Yeah.
What are ways that you can foster and nurture a plant friendship? My thing would always be, Janae's great at this, sharing plants. If you got a plant,
Yeah.
send them, give them a cutting.
Yeah.
I love doing that.
Yeah, I mean, that's a great idea. I need to start doing that as well. I need to first get my plants to grow to a point where I can
I know, right?
afford a cutting from them.
Let me just
Okay,
come over with scissors.
that's
Nice
it. That's
plants.
it. But you know what? I think also checking on your plant friend.
Yeah.
From time to time, and just reaching out and saying, "Hey, like, what's up?"
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
So it doesn't always have to be about plants.
bingo,
Yes.
bingo.
Because even with y'all, like, it's not always about plants.
That's right.
Like, hey, how's it going? Rough day or whatever. Just
Yeah.
try to uplift them,
Yeah,
Just
absolutely.
be there.
Absolutely.
I
For
just
sure.
think this really sums up a lot of, what the purpose of Cultivation Corner Plant Podcast is. It's definitely cultivating conversations, right? Cultivating friendships, cultivating plants
Yeah.
as a community. And I'm hoping that, our viewers will continue to stick around, share this, this channel, this podcast with people, because each and every one of y'all that that comment, that watch, that share our videos, it really does mean a lot to us.
Yes.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, I love to read through the comments, right? Now, like I said, y'all taught me to be nice and kill them with kindness.
Yeah.
and that comes in the form of I was just heart a message at the end of the day with honey, than with vinegar.
Yeah.
But the other thing is when you're reading the comments, and the comments are just really lovely and really kind, and that's the interactions that I really, really dig. And
Makes you feel good.
It really does. And like I got a comment on one of my videos about a shirt that I was wearing. You're like, oh my cute. God, that shirt color on you looks great, and it's like, oh, yeah, you know what I'm saying?
True. Yeah.
So again, not about the plant, but about the community and about the people who, just can say the right words at the right time.
Yes.
Yeah. And and I would just say to end it on a note, we can just do a want or need, but not about a plant, but about a friend, like a plant friend.
Yeah.
What is a want and a need from a plant friend? Like, what do you need? What do you need today from a plant friend?
So what I need, I guess, today from a plant friend is just compassion, and empathy. I keep saying those two words a lot. And one more word is grace.
Yes.
Those three words, I think, in general, is something that I need more of. I am very hard on myself, you guys. Like, I am. Always have been. Always really, stab myself when I make a mistake, because I have I set a high bar for myself. But when I hear grace and empathy from other people, it reminds me to give that to myself. And so I have two friends right here. Why am I always tearing up in these videos this season? But this is just who I am, and nothing's wrong with being and showing and feeling your emotions. But I have two plant friends right here who are life friends for me.
Love you, Steve.
I love y'all too.
I love to look at you.
But that's what I need, because and I get that from these two as well as others as well. So it just reminds me that I need to be a little bit more kinder to myself too.
I love that. I would say for me, it's almost piggyback off of what you said. A need from a plant friend would just be encouragement.
Oh yeah.
Because I don't know, like I mentioned earlier, it doesn't always go as planned with a plant. And if it's and it's not always about plants, just encouragement, just life. So those things. And the want would be I don't know, just wanting that friendship to y'all just do the plant care like side by side, like going to do those things,
Yeah.
I don't know, and like pictures back and forth.
Yep.
That's definitely. I get so much joy, like especially like Richie when you see like academias, we're like, oh my gosh, like a new growth. Or whenever I first got Mufasa, we had to talk about it first. I was in the car.
We saw it in the trunk.
Selfie.
We needed to see that.
I was like, I have to send it to Steve and Richie. Now, I even mentioned some of my videos. Oh my gosh, this is happening. I need to tell Richie and Steve, like, just having those moments, like, it makes a difference.
Yep.
I think for me to a need from my plant friend today would be more people putting themselves out there and meeting more people and really celebrating the joy for plants, because plants really do make people happy, and we just need a little bit more happiness in this world, a lot more kindness. But I really think for me the need is I need everybody to come out of their shells, put themselves out there, and really showcase their love for plants, because that's going to create a bridge, like Stephen has mentioned, where you are going to make more friends that eventually will create this friendships. And then my want would just be for anybody that wants to like go shopping for plants, definitely support your local nurseries and your local shops. Shop small, because you shopping small again creates and continues somebody's dreams and goals, and that's a a want. Like that's not something that you need to do today, but if you're going to go out and shop, at least support local businesses. So.
Exactly.
This has been a fun episode.
It has
Fun.
been.
Let us know in
yo.
the comments who is your plant friend.
Yes.
And why. And what are your wants and needs from them we want to hear.
Yeah. Because you can let them know. Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, that's true.
Always. Well, my name is Richie. I'm from Girl Folds.
Janae from Janae Simone.
And Steve from I Live Plants.
And we are
Cultivation Corner. Bye.
See you this time. Bye.
That was beautiful.
On the next episode on Cultivation Corner.
And how does that translate to this? Well, no one knows that they can do this when they grow up. This isn't something that you're going to see where people are like, oh, yeah, I'm a tropical plant salesman. It was like, so it's kind of a weird job.